This is The Secret Storm, brought to you by Dondrill.
Stop useless coughing fast. This tiny tablet and a sip of water actually stops useless coughing up to 6 full hours. Coughing due to colds, minor bronchial irritations, excessive smoking. It's Dondrill anti-cough tablets. Working through the bloodstream, Dondrill controls nerves that control coughing, relieves bronchial congestion, checks postnasal drip that often starts the coughing spasm. Stop useless coughing night or day. Get Dondrill anti-cough tablets.
Well, when you said training program, you meant training program, didn't you, Dan?
We've been developing it over the years. It's pretty thorough.
All administrative personnel go through this?
All administrative personnel.
Well, I'll sure know Tyrrell's inside and out from top to bottom. I figure I'll be able to start... Hey, don't fool with that, Dad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I wouldn't care, only it's the paper's property.
What were you saying, Jerry?
Well, it belongs to the Herald. When I turn it in, I want it to be in perfect condition.
No, I mean about when you plan to start.
Start? Oh, here, a week, 2 at the outside. Miss Hewlett was interviewing photographers to replace me when I went out on the story this morning.
Feature story, was it?
Yeah. I got some great shots. See, the thing about a feature is telling the story in pictures. And I built this one around the theme. If I don't get back to the office, it'll never go to press.
Jerry, 5 minutes more won't make any difference, will it?
5 minutes, no.
Come on, sit down. Jerry, are you sure this is what you want, coming into Tyrrell's?
Oh, Dad, we've been over this pretty thoroughly. Sure, I'm sure.
Well, you've given your notice at the Herald.
That's right.
But if you change your mind right now, I dare say it's not too late, is it?
I haven't changed my mind.
That's for certain?
That's for certain. Well, maybe you've changed your mind.
Huh? Oh, listen, you know it's my fondest hope that you'll come into the store with me. Mine and your grandmother's, only...
Only what?
Oh, Jerry, I'm just having father flutters.
Father flutters?
Well, Jerry, wondering if what I want most for my son is really what's best for him. It's a common father's ailment.
Well, they might give their sons credit for knowing their own minds, don't you think?
It's just that I'm determined not to be wrong this time.
Well, when were you wrong last time?
I was thinking of your sister.
Oh, Dad.
No. I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know where my mistake was. Well, maybe I made dozens of mistakes. I guess looking backwards, parents can put their fingers on dozens of mistakes, but...
You know what I think, Dad?
What?
I think the pendulum swung just as cockeyed one way as it used to be the other.
How's that?
Sure. Guys, folks used to blame themselves for nothing. Now they blame themselves for everything. Well, isn't that right? I mean, it's really probably about 50-50.
Well, a psychologist will disown you, but I guess you've got a point there. Say, by the way, I had a little run-in with your friend Jeff the other evening. I suggested to him, rather bluntly, I guess, that he disentangle himself from Susan's affairs.
What did Jeff say?
Well, he thanked me for the advice, but he left me out on a limb as to whether he'd take it or not.
Well, the trouble is, it isn't up to Jeff.
Oh?
Well, I had dinner with him the other evening. Disentangle himself. I'm sorry, Dad, but after watching Susan with him, I'd make book that Jeff doesn't have a thing to say about it.
New relief for chronic minor pains of arthritis rheumatism. Today, a new European discovery brings hours of relief with a special kind of warmth. It's Infrarub. Infrarub with working warmth, proved in arthritis clinics here and abroad. Now, wherever such arthritic pain strikes, your arm, back, leg, here's how Infrarub's working warmth radiates relief. Doesn't burn, doesn't sting like old-fashioned rubs or liniments. Here's dramatized proof.
It used to hurt just to move my fingers, but the first time I used Infrarub, I could feel a relief-bringing warmth. Oh, it's so wonderful to know how to get hours of relief.
No matter what you have ever used, try Infrarub. Infrarub brings you hours of wonderful relief from chronic minor pains of arthritis rheumatism. Infrarub with working warmth radiates relief. Infrarub.
I'd make book, I said, that Jeff isn't going to have a thing to say about it.
And what did your father say then?
Well, nothing. That's what threw me. Up to that point, he'd been chatty, outgoing. Well, he talks to me a lot more now than he used to.
Oh, Jerry, I'm so glad.
But when I said that, well, he just kind of closed up.
Well, he's wonderfully loyal to Susan, darling.
Wonderfully loyal. Nancy, he lets her make a fool of it.
No one can make a fool of Peter Ames.
Well, Susan does. She's... Well, you're going to think I'm disloyal to say this.
Well, then don't say it.
Well, Susan has an axe to grind with Alan. Yet I think she loves Dad, and...
Well, of course she does.
And yet I think that she'd just as soon hurt Dad as she would Alan.
Well, now, Jerry, that is disloyal.
Now, sometimes I think she'd rather hurt Dad. He sat there in his office this afternoon blaming himself for the way she's turned out.
But you can do a lot to ease that hurt, darling.
Well, I'm going to try. Not that I've been any great shakes of a son up to now.
Jerry.
I've given Dad plenty of those gray hairs, plenty. What, honey?
Jerry, how close were you and Susan when you were growing up? I know she's a little older.
2 years only. Doesn't seem like much now. And when we were kids. How close? Not close at all.
But she was the big sister, wasn't she, when your mother died?
You know, when I think of the way she was then, I'm thinking of another person. Another Susan altogether. Well, you know how irresponsible she is now.
Yes.
Well, the night Mother died, I was just a kid, Amy's age now. 16. Well, they said there'd been an accident. A car had run somebody down. I couldn't believe it was Mother. It hadn't been an hour before, not 1 hour before, that she'd given me $1 to get a haircut. I'd spent it on patches for my bicycle tire.
Well, I'm sure that if she'd known how badly you wanted the patches,
she knew. To please me, Jerry Sherry, she said, you get a haircut, and I'll have a surprise for you. To please her, Jerry Sherry. That was a private joke we had. She used to say I looked like some Frenchman, her favorite actor. Only I was handsomer.
Jerry Sherry, I like that.
The surprise was the bicycle tire patches. She made a trip specially to get them. And it was on her way home, crossing the street, that they found the patches fallen out of the purse. Later that evening, when the house had quieted down, I got up and I got a knife and I went out to the garage and I tore those tires to shreds. Funny thing was, I couldn't cry.
Oh, darling.
I couldn't sleep either, or at least I thought I couldn't. I must have, because in the middle of the night I woke up and there was Susan standing beside my bed. She was holding in one hand the cut-up tire and in the other hand her piggy bank.
Her piggy bank?
And she'd been saving for a new formal. Well, she threw the tire at me, and I ducked it and sat up, and then I saw she was crying. You take this money, she said, and you buy new tires. You ride that bike, no matter what. You ride, you ride, you ride. It was like I was a kid. She put her arms around me, and well, I don't know what she said. She talked, and after a while, I talked. And then we looked up, and we saw daylight coming in through the window.
And you said that you and Susan weren't ever close.
It's funny, you know. As you get older, I guess there are a lot of things that maybe you ought to remember.
Painful headache often accompanies sinus congestion and cold's miseries. So remember, Dristan decongestant tablets. Modern medical achievement help drain all 8 sinus cavities, thus relieve pressure and headache pain due to sinus congestion. In one fast-acting, uncoated 3-layer tablet, Dristan combines a decongestant to help drain sinus cavities, critical areas of pressure and pain. an exclusive anti-allergen to help keep breathing passages dry and clear. Pain relievers to bring quick relief from pain of headache, plus vitamin C. This is Dristan. Circulating through the blood, Dristan reaches all congested areas, shrinks all swollen membranes, promotes sinus drainage, thus relieves pressure and pain. Today, Dristan is widely imitated, but the fact is the exclusive Dristan formula cannot be duplicated. For relief of sinus headache, there's nothing like Dristan decongestant tablets.
Honey, it's a really big deal. Talk about training. That course Dad has worked out doesn't miss one trick.
How long is it supposed to take?
Depends on the individual. I figure to sail through it 3 weeks the outside.
And then you'll have a complete grounding in merchandising.
We'll say a working knowledge. And you know what that means? This. Inside a matter of months, break out the rice and strike up Here Comes the Bride. What's the matter?
Jerry, is that why you're going to work at Tyrrell's? So that we can get married sooner?
That's part of the reason. Well, I mean, a girl wants a bridegroom who's at least pointed in the general direction of his career.
But you were pointed in the direction of your career when you went to work for Dad at the paper.
Honey, let's face it, that was for kicks.
Oh.
Well, photography wouldn't in a million years get me the things I want to give you, or that I want for both of us. Have I told you lately what it is I want? I mean, a girl should know what she has to look forward to, and you, baby mine, have plenty.
Oh, hush.
No, I won't hush. Now, let's see. Let's start with the honeymoon, huh?
Chip.
Now, what'll it be, my lady? Bermuda, the Bahamas, Europe, the Orient, or maybe a cross-country trip in a brand-new fire-engine red sports convertible.
Oh, Jerry.
And then after the honeymoon, what's your pleasure, huh? A penthouse, country estate, cozy 12-room cottage. I think so. Yeah, that's nice for large families. Oh, that's another thing. How large a family do you want? How many boys? How many girls?
I want you. You. Please, let's leave it at that, please.
Stop. Cutting corns may be dangerous, painful. To safely remove corns or calluses in days, just drop on Free-Zone, lift off corns. As you drop on Free-Zone, it works instantly to relieve pain, form a protective cushion. Continued as directed for several days, Free-Zone loosens the corn so you lift it off safely, painlessly. No more dangerous cutting, no bulky corn plasters. Just drop on Free-Zone, lift off corns. Get liquid Free-Zone.
Watch Bud Collier on the panel of stars on To Tell the Truth every Monday night on most of these same stations. The Secret Storm has been brought to you by Infrarub. This is Ken Roberts speaking.